Hey everybody, this is Peter with Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to be taking a look at a book from Free League Publishing. They recently sent me a copy of Runes of Symbaroum, The Throne of Thorns 1. And if you're unfamiliar with Free League Publishing or the Runes of Symbaroum series of books, this is their 5th edition adaptation of their original game, Symbaroum. They're doing these 5th edition adaptations, hopefully making it easier for people out there who already are playing 5th edition to be able to jump into a new world, a new set of adventures without having to change everything that they know about playing role-playing games. So there's going to still be a D20 in this. You'll still be rolling D20s instead of D6s, which is what Free League Publishing usually has for their rules and their mechanics. So with 5th edition, you roll the D20. Combat is going to be the same as in 5th edition, but you're getting a whole new world, a whole new setting for you as a game master or you as players to play in. Now, this is again called the Throne of Thorns 1. And why is it called Throne of Thorns 1? Because it is the first of 3 books. And in each book are 2 adventures for a total of 6 adventures that make up the entire campaign of the Throne of Thorns. Now, again, this adventure has been previously published for the Symbaroum setting, and now they're republishing it for the Runes of Symbaroum, okay? And this is super exciting because it is a huge, sprawling adventure, and I'm super excited to see them coming out with this 5th edition version of it for those of you out there who love 5th edition, same as myself. Again, there's going to be 2 adventures in here, and the overall theme of kind of this Symbaroum setting is the idea that it's nature versus the cultivation of nature, and nature fighting back now against that cultivation. We're going to get into the book. We're not going to get very far into it because we're not going to actually touch on the 2 adventures that are in here, but we're going to touch on the idea, the grand scope of the campaign, just by looking at the opening of the book. That way we're not getting into any big spoilers. If you are a player and you are not planning on running the Runes of Symbaroum or the Throne of Thorns, then I would recommend that you go ahead and just skip this video and move on to the next one. But if you're a game master and you're interested in finding out just a little bit more about this Throne of Thorns campaign and what it's about, then stick around. We're going to go down to the table. I'll open up the book to the first section of it and tell you a little bit more about this campaign. So let's head down to the table. All right, everybody, so we're down to the table with Runes of Symbaroum, the Throne of Thorns 1. I'm going to quickly read the back of the book, and then we're just going to open up the book to the first couple of pages to talk about what is inside, but we're not going to be diving deeply into the 2 adventures themselves, as I do not want to get into any spoilers for players, as well as, again, if you're a game master, then hopefully just knowing what is inside the book is going to be enough to decide whether you're interested in picking it up or not. So real quickly, we'll read the back of the book, and then we'll get into just the first couple of pages, okay? Perilous expeditions into the dark depths of Davokar Forest, deadly encounters with murderous cultists, hostile elves, and warriors of the Beast Clan, intense faction play and political maneuvering. You will experience all this and more when the epic quest for the legendary Throne of Thorns begins. This book presents the first 2 episodes of the acclaimed adventure Chronicle the Throne of Thorns, adapted for play with the 5e rule set and the Runes of Symbaroum setting books. Expect the stakes to be high, the competitors relentless, and the darkness ever present, for the Forest of Davokar is about to awaken. The Throne of Thorns 1 contains the 2 full-length adventures Wrath of the Warden and the Witch Hammer for characters of 7th to 9th level, more than 20 color maps detailing adventure locations in towns, forests, and ruins, over 50 stat blocks covering non-player characters of different types, monsters, potential allies or adversaries, as well as famous, notorious individuals. A dozen journey events that can be used to make the characters' travels in the forest even more exciting. More than 10 handouts to be used during play, offering important information for social challenges and problem solving. Note that this book requires access to the Runes of Symbaroum core setting books, the Player's Guide, Game Master's Guide, and Bestiary. So that is just the quick overview of what is inside this book. Another nice, wonderful cover here on the front. I like the blues and the blacks together. We're going to open up the book, and on the first page here, we have a poem that gives a really good insight as to what is going on in this world. I'm going to read it real quickly and then give you kind of my quick interpretation of what is happening here. And so indulge me as I read. Thus spoke Aroleta. And at the dawn of days was Wirta, the power that creates. Where nothing had reigned supreme, Wirta gave life to all. Shaped here and there, spawned now and then, formed the one and in chorus the other, and where attraction arose, the wild thrived and multiplied. But out of the untamed Wilda appeared the power that rules, the power of willful violence that bends here and there, that curves now and then according to ideals and cravings, that harvests the one and rejects the other. With time, Wilda's appetite grew, and the birth was inevitable. Because violence begets hate, begets Ratha, the power that reacts. Born of Wilda's hunger for Wirta's design, Ratha is everywhere and nowhere, always close where mother meets mother, always mounting in strength with the force of the violence. The arrival of the black fruit is fated, as inescapable as terrible. And it happens, has happened, will happen again, that Ratha grows boundless, furious, blind in her hunger. It happens that the blackness grows flesh and spirit and the sharpest of claws, that the fruit sheds seeds that poison the first in the aim to suppress the second, then dies all. Our theme in the game of Runes of Symbaroum is that creation is one thing, and then the peoples who live on creation cultivate it and manipulate it to their own ends and desires. And that cultivation, that over cultivation, births what they're calling here in this poem Ratha. It is creation's way of fighting back. And so the creatures that your players will be coming up against in the Runes of Symbaroum are that. They're the manifestation of creation rising up against this over cultivation that is happening in the world. I think it's a really cool theme, and I think it makes for a really awesome game. So the two adventures are laid out here. They each have their introduction, and they're broken down into 3 acts with an aftermath. So there's going to be multiple sessions of play here for each one of these adventures. Each adventure is around 100 pages, 90 pages long. So you're going to get plenty of adventuring done just from these 2 adventures. And don't forget that there are going to be 2 more books coming out. That's what in the section here, that what follows, they give you a brief description of what is coming up, where there's going to be 2 more books, and in each book are going to be 2 more adventures. So they give you a quick breakdown here, real quick paragraph summary of each of the 2 adventures that are here in this book, and they give you even shorter summaries of the upcoming 4 adventures that are going to be coming out as well. I did want to mention real quickly again that Game Master materials are available online at freeleaguepublishing.com. So any of the handouts that are here in this book that you want to print out or share electronically with your players, you can do that at freeleaguepublishing.com. I love that Free League Publishing does that they make those available for the players, because there's so many times I've purchased a book and I see all the cool handouts, and then I'm like, well, now I'm going to have to take pictures, or I'm going to have to make copies of them at a printer. But if I can just download them and share them electronically with my players, I think that is even better. So that's everything we're going to take a look at here in this book. I am super excited that they have decided to go ahead and bring over this set of adventures for Runes of Symbaroum. I love that, again, they're making this for the 5th edition. I know there are some people who think, if you really love a game, you should just play it how they originally designed it. But I love that Free League has said, you know what, if you love 5th edition, you already enjoy that rule set, we're going to make our game available to you in the rule set that you already know as well. I mean, come on, just the more the merrier, right? So let's go ahead and come back up from the table, and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on this book. All right, everybody, we're back up from the table, having just taken a quick look at Runes of Symbaroum, the Throne of Thorns 1. And I think the thing that makes me most excited about this particular campaign, the fact that there are these 6 adventures, is the idea that they specifically talk about it's not imperative that your players always be playing the same characters from one adventure to the next. Now, they may decide that they want to do that. That may be their goal. But the idea is that they don't have to. And these bigger overarching campaigns can sometimes be a little cumbersome. There's a lot for the game master to read, to try to remember, to mold around their players and their characters. And this is not going to be any different from that. That is still going to be the case. But I do like the idea that it is broken down into these smaller chunks. And again, it is not imperative that the same player characters always be coming up against the next adventure. So you might even be able to run other games interspersed with this one, so that you're not feeling like you just have to learn all of it all at once, right? I do also like the idea that they are pretty decent sized adventures, so you're going to be getting multiple sessions out of each of these adventures, which is also great. It's more than just a one shot, right? There's going to be multiple sessions happening here with each one of these adventures. I love the theme that is happening here in this one as well. It's in the world of Symbaroum. The idea of creation versus cultivation. People, as they cultivate the earth and mold it to fit themselves and their desires, that eventually that tug of war gets to be a little bit too much, and then creation fights back a little bit. I think that is a really cool theme. I enjoy that. There's no one specific big bad person. It's just all of these machinations of the factions and the player characters and the NPCs and the things that they're doing that are affecting the world, and then how the world is also going to be fighting back, and how the player characters are going to get their opportunity to try to help mold all of that and how they're going to interact with it. So it's a really cool theme. I like it a lot. And if it has intrigued you and you have decided that this is a book you want to get, then you can head down to your friendly local game store or go over to freeleaguepublishing.com and purchase it there. Again, I do really appreciate the fact that they give you the PDFs online for all the handouts and everything, so that you have them in the book, but then you can also just print them out, or you can share them with your friends electronically who are in your game. So I'm excited about that part as well. So head over to freeleaguepublishing.com to pick this up if you're ready for it, and learn more about their other great games. You can also head over to tabletopgamingguild.com to learn a little bit more about us and the things that we're doing. If you like the video, give it a like, maybe subscribe to our channel, check out all the other great videos that we're putting out on a daily basis. And everybody, until we talk again, keep on playing games.